Oh, okay. This is a genuine question. Are you a large app person
No.
or a small app person, Josh?
Yeah, small app.
Why are you a small app?
I don't know.
Small
I'm
app?
also not a widget guy.
What do you mean now, widget guy?
Yeah, so let me see your first page.
Hold on. First, I have to go back to large apps because I like minimalism. No text. I'm a smart man. I could figure out.
I see.
I could.
Yeah,
I
are you
could
a
figure
smart
out
man?
the apps.
Because you couldn't figure out the name of Royal Match. So.
Josh, not an ad. Not an ad. We were talking about Royal Match.
But
before. Okay.
Page 1.
Widgets.
Yeah, no shot. No.
Why aren't you a widget man?
Because I am a grown man. But
okay.
No, because I like the classic screen of the iPhone. Yeah. So
what are you, Josh? It's 2024. Let's start living.
Yeah. These listeners know there's not much living going on here in terms of
and people who
flavor.
And if you're watching the podcast, you know they're like, oh yeah, it makes sense. Louis is all over the. He's a widget man. All right, Louis, widget man.
It's all about the widgets.
Is there anything? Okay, so we both have the new iPhones. Not an ad, Apple. I wish. First of all,
but if you want to pay us, I mean,
Apple, please support us. Do you like the? Now, listen. I want to preface.
How many times are you going to preface?
A lot, Josh. The words I speak require context. All right. This action button came out on the 15th, so you probably have it if you have a 15th. But we have the 16th because we're better than you. But if we, do you have any other function for the action button besides silence your phone?
No, but I saw that you can.
Oh gosh. Yeah, you can do anything.
Correct.
Well, you're limited to a lot of things.
Yeah, I think there's 7 options you can do.
It's better than one.
Well, that's what I got it at.
Yeah, so me too. Because I was like, ooh, I could do Siri. But then I'm like, that's the power button. So
yeah,
that's out. So I was like, okay, what else can it do? And they're like, open up a camera. I was like, yeah, but the 16 has the camera button where I just click it. So that's out. And then the other stuff is just
I think
something
another one was like, I think it was like the flashlight was one.
Yeah, which
command center. It's not hard.
Yeah, command center, which, yeah, right
it's
there.
It's hard for you right now. But
apparently, yeah. But did you know you can edit your flashlight?
Yeah, I had too much fun with that the first day. Or it's like, your flashlight's on. I said, I know, I'm playing with it.
Yeah, come on. Oh, and it's on right now. All right. But anyway, so do you do any other functions for your phone?
No, honestly.
Have you been playing this?
The 16 is pretty much the same as my 13, except faster.
That's
better
like,
camera.
That's like wrong. That's just wrong what you're saying. I have been asking Apple, to no avail of putting in a fingerprint scanner right here. Okay? Right where this camera button is now. Praying to God that they would do that because
I missed scanner.
No. Yeah, on like the 8s, Josh. Now with the new phones, they put one right here. And I'm like, oh, can you, because it's sensitive touch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you use this button as an unlock feature? No, it's just for photos. Missed the mark, Apple. You make this button have 7 different functions. This one, it's like 1. Missed the mark. And you know that now people need to touch it. Make it an unlock thing, dude. Come on.
Is that it? Could it be used like the? I don't know. You have the new MacBook Pro too, right? Do you have the like little fingerprint thing top right corner.
Yeah.
So it could. So it's not like the technology's not there anymore. You know.
No.
So.
And I love that technology because how many times, okay, have you tried to open up your phone and it's just like, I don't know who you are.
Oh,
I can't reach your face. You don't do the face thing?
No.
I do that for everything.
Okay, this is gonna be a little out there. I don't like the fact that like.
Oh no, Apple has your face. Is that what you're worried about, Josh? We literally have a public podcast where your picture is plastered everywhere, and you're like, "Oh no, Apple's gonna have my face."
I was also super concerned about buying the 16 because of the satellite thing.
So they know your position?
Everything, everywhere. Even when my phone's off, how does that make sense? How does that make sense?
Technology's scary, dude. Did you also say this is so unrelated? But so the new phones, how they have like the satellite stuff where they always know where you are now. They always know what you look like, you know, all that stuff. Did you see about the phones exploding in like Europe?
No, it was the Middle East, but it was
that
the pagers.
Too, Josh.
It was the pagers.
And some phones.
And then, in the store. It was the phones in the stores.
And they blew up.
Yeah.
And they were new
gunshots.
phones. And people were like, is this in the new iPhone 16? Is this why we don't have Apple Intelligence day one? Because they're putting bombs in the new phones?
So this is so bad. I don't know if all this is going to make the podcast or not. But so I used to sleep with the phone on my nightstand.
Next to your head.
Yeah. I moved it after hearing about that.
Josh is worried about the phones capturing their face. Josh is worried about widgets, and he's worried that the phone's going to blow up in his face. We got a lot to talk about. Josh!
It's Crosby. Crosby on Trinity shot. Penguins win it!
Buckle up, baby. Are you kidding me?
We're a collective.
Hello, Governor. Welcome to the Penguins Collective podcast. We got a little something. We got a little something. As you guys know, we're putting out a weekly episode throughout the season, Josh. Throughout our entire lives, okay? Because we did it during the offseason, and we're continuing on. Yeah, we're going live after every single game, but you're getting a little juicy content during the week. Not spicy content, Josh. Juicy content. Okay?
Sounded
Two
wrong.
different things. If I said spicy content, then people would think we started an OnlyFans. But we're not, Josh. Even though we did, in fact, say it is quoted on this podcast that we are, in fact, gay for the Penguins, we are not starting an OnlyFans for the Penguins.
Wait,
we have
Did you see the T-shirt? There's like, those pun T-shirts.
Okay, where are you going with this?
It says OnlyFans, and it's just a bunch of fans. It's like ceiling fan. Like it's like a oscillating fan.
I have seen.
I love it.
Okay.
I want to buy it.
That is a better shirt than the one I'm about to describe.
Okay.
So you know the Christian pun shirts?
Oh, I love those. I will never buy one, but I love them.
So there is one that I saw that said "Only fan of Jesus," and I was like, not the best one.
But that's also getting really close to the line. Like, they always like you're trying to get there. Like they're right there.
They're as far as you can push the envelope. It's the same font, literally the same logo, just not the S. And then it says in small letters for Jesus. And I'm like, no, like who's going to buy that? But apparently it's a hot seller. So maybe we should try that. Only fan of Penguins. Maybe try something like that. Of Sidney Crosby.
Right now, you are the only fan of Sidney Crosby.
Apparently, because everyone hates Sidney Crosby because he hasn't scored. But there are some people who have been scoring, Josh. Evgeny Malkin, is he back? Is he the best Pittsburgh Penguin player in history? Should we go back and edit our Mount Rushmore episode where we said Malkin does not belong on the Mount Rushmore and then edit that so that way we could put him on the Mount Rushmore, Josh?
Wasn't
that what you're saying?
Wasn't he on our Mount Rushmore?
Yeah. But I said if we had to get rid of one, it was Malkin.
Oh yeah, and the title.
Should we go back and edit that, Josh?
And the title of the episode on YouTube is "Does Malkin deserve to be on Mount Rushmore?" The comments, without even watching the video.
No one watched the episode. They're all like, "Of course he does. He's a generational talent." Yeah, I know. Watch the video.
He's there.
He's on it. It was to get you to watch the video, not just to read the title and yell at us. Now, because you commented, yep, we're removing him. It's official. He's gone. Anyway.
Oh, my word.
Malkin's been good. Malkin's been good for the Pittsburgh Penguins so far. It's only been 4 games at this time of the recording. Yes. And he's pretty good. So he's up in the top of the NHL. Once again, it has been 4 seasons. It's been only 4 seasons, everyone. It's been 4 games. So don't get too excited. But also, let's start planning the parade. You know,
let's get excited.
I've been told I go from one extreme to the other. And just letting you know, that's never going to stop. So if you don't like that, sorry, pal. Sorry, I'm not changing my ways for you. But I just want to say, Evgeny Malkin's great. Don't get me wrong. He's been playing super well, Josh. What else has the Penguins been doing? Trying some new lines, Josh.
Yep. As
Mike Sullivan loves to do. He doesn't like to just say, this is our roster. Nothing's changing. Here we go. He says, I like to play Scrabble with my lineup. I like to move things around. I like to play Royal Match with my lineups, you know?
Very nice.
Not sponsored. Royal Match with my lineup to get the right combination, Josh. That's what Mike Sullivan says. And we've seen a lot of changes.
Can I just say one thing before we go into this episode? There's been one thing that we have failed to mention. Yeah, I know we've been in it, but before we get to the rest of it.
We've started it, Josh. We've started.
Yeah. We have failed to mention one thing since the season preview. So what is that? 6 episodes we failed to mention?
I don't know where you're going with this.
We got a milkshake.
Yeah, we do. Guess here's the problem, though. I'm the only one standing up and calling out the lies of what's going on. Isn't it the same exact milkshake as the Jake Shake? They just swapped out.
He didn't have Oreos.
Didn't he? Didn't he have pieces of fudge and Oreo? Isn't that the whole point of the Jake Shake?
I don't think so. I don't think he had both. And I think that's what makes Rust's different.
Because even when he was making it, he said, let's get this 5'9" out of here. I'm like, they still had the 5'9" in the video.
Well, probably because they still have so much chocolate of 5'9". They probably still have so much.
Because they were like, Jake Ensel, he's never getting traded.
Yeah. Make me a million chocolate.
Well, I'm sure it's just a mold. But
yeah, of course, that they do. Yeah.
Yeah. In-house, from 100%. What I've seen. But anyway, Brian Rust gets his own shake. Doesn't sound as good as Jake Shake.
I think it sounds better. I got to disagree with you on that one.
It's what? It's Rusty's.
The name. Oh, the name.
The name, Josh.
You can't beat Jake Shakes. You can't beat
Jake. That was like that was the best thing ever. And then they're like, Rusty Shake. And I was like, no, it doesn't.
No. But
it feels like the second choice.
I think the overall flavor is better. It's
Okay,
got
does
Oreos
this one
and
have
brownie.
peanut butter? Does this have peanut butter?
No. It's got Oreos,
Let me find this nonsense.
brownie.
Thanks, Josh. Is that the only thing you got?
I was trying to remember.
It's got Oreos and brownies.
and brownies.
And that's it. That's all we care about.
No actual milkshake, just Oreos and brownies.
It's just brine rust. It just says rust in milkshakes. In Oreos on the milkshake. That's all it says. Here, I'm watching the video right now. Let's see what it is.
Yeah.
It's called Rusty Shake. Yeah. No. Oh, and we missed it. Half off Rusty Shakes. Come on. All right. So, Josh, you're right.
Well, he hasn't scored yet.
Oreos.
Yeah. I told you.
Brownies.
Fudge. Hot fudge.
Fudge.
Yeah.
Then cream. And then he's mixing it up. And I'm like, isn't that was the Jake Shake, no?
No, it's not. The Jake Shake was different. I think the Jake Shake was his cookies and cream ice cream, which may be the same.
No way.
Same but different.
I feel like it was same, but different. I feel like that's. Hold on.
I love how this episode is now derailed because I brought up Rusty Shakes.
Josh, you don't bring up.
I was so excited for you.
You don't bring up milkshakes to a fat person and then go, we'll just gloss over it. We'll move on to the next thing. Hold on.
I could drink a milkshake with the best of them.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Final Jake Shake Day. It looks a little bit different, but looks exactly the same. Okay?
They're all shakes. How much versatility can you get?
Okay, look at Jake Shake. That's Jake Shake.
Yes. I already know. It's the same thing.
It's like the same. It's same. It's the same. Am I wrong? They just moved the number. How hard is it to come up with a new flavor?
You have to go and find the actual ingredients of the Jake Shake.
I have to figure out. You know what? First of all, Josh, I've been privileged to go to the original milkshake factory on East Carson Street.
Nice,
okay? Shout out Red Roof. If you know, you know. So I go in and I go, listen, I want you to make a Jake Shake and I want you to make a Rusty Shake. And if they say they're the same, I'm going to be like, so you're just a bunch of liars.
Can you get Rusties?
See, when you say it like that, it just sounds like hepatitis. I don't know why it's like
Rusty. Can you get
Rusties, dude? I don't like that.
Because I found Jake.
No offense,
I found Jake's recipe.
Is it the same?
Tracked it down. So it's hot fudge.
Tracked it down? Okay, hold on. Let me try to find Rusties. Rusties Shake Milkshake Factory. That's my little jingle.
That was beautiful.
Thanks, guys. Okay, ready? Go ahead.
So it's a chocolate shake with hot fudge.
Yeah.
Crushed cookies and cream.
Okay.
Brownies.
Yeah. And whipped cream. Hey, Josh, guess what the ingredients for the Jake Shake is, Josh?
You mean Rusty?
Oreos, brownies, hot fudge, topped. Oh, wait, no, that's the rust.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I want.
Did you? Yeah, that's rust.
I just did Jake Shake.
Oh, it's the same thing. It's Oreos, brownies, hot fudge, topped with whipped cream. We're on to you, Milkshake Factory, you pieces of poop. You liars.
Wait, but what's the ice cream base?
Chocolate.
So it's literally the same?
A chocolate bar in the shape of rust number 17.
So it's
you liars.
It's
you
a chocolate
you
shake.
You brood of vipers.
So now, when they say crushed cookies and cream,
it's Oreos.
That's
cream
Oreo,
is inside the Oreo, Josh.
Yeah.
So they could get away by saying, "Oh, it's Oreos and brownies instead of cookies and cream." It's the same thing, dude.
They just
Now
probably
I don't
weren't.
want a milkshake.
They probably just couldn't use Oreo back when they started Jake.
And now they can.
Yeah.
So they're like,
Yeah.
Oreos, cookies and cream.
Oh my word! I can't
You
believe
liars. You guys
I'm
are
so
the
bummed.
worst. And they acted like, oh, I have a sweet tooth. I want to put in brownies. Shut up, Brian Rust. Reading from a teleprompter. Here I thought I trusted you.
that. You know what's crazy though? Like honestly, like if Milkshake Factory was like, yeah, we want to sponsor TPC, it would be an honor. It's like, oh, the honor's ours. But we get your own. You get your own. Each of you get your own milkshake. You want to know what mine would be?
Vanilla, Josh.
No, it would be this. It would be exactly this.
All right. Well, that's what they do anyway. So they're like,
Yeah.
sounds great.
Yeah.
Could we just do the TPC logo as the chocolate bar on top? And we're like, I guess. I mean, how much money are you guys saving? Seriously. I'll get the VP of Milkshake Factory on this pod and go, let's talk about the numbers here. Why the same shake? Can't you do anything different? Oh, I don't want to hear it, Josh. I don't want to hear it. I don't care what this VP that I made up in my own head has to say. I'm disappointed. Now you got me in a bad mood for the episode. And it's a good episode today. It's ruined because Jake Gensel screwed us. And now Milkshake Factory screwing us again. And Brian Russ is along for the ride. I have a sweet tooth, so I like the brownies. It's the same ingredients, dude. If he did something a little bit different, like, I don't want brownies. I'm like, okay, sounds good, dude. But he's like, I'll just have the same thing. Get out of here, dude. You think we wouldn't notice? You think Milkshake Factory, you think we didn't notice? You think a fat man like me wouldn't say, that's the same shake? So now, I'm just going to make your business, all right, a living hell for your employees. I'm going to walk in and say, I want the Jake Shake. And they're going to say, sorry, sir. We only have the Rush Shake. I'm like, look at me. Make the Jake Shake. Make the Jake Shake. It's the same, dude.
Oh
so
my
anyway, the
gosh.
Pittsburgh Penguins started great this season. All right, great this season.
Yeah, great. That's the word you want to use. Great.
Yeah, Josh. Let's insert a video from me freaking out from the first episode. We're doing great. Doing great. I just got to remember to edit that we're going in. But we're doing great. We're doing great. 2-2. We're still doing our lives after every single Penguins game. Right after the final horn, we're here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Make sure you're there. Don't forget to subscribe to us, Josh. Maybe go on our YouTube and hit that subscribe button, maybe that notification bell.
Nice. And
that'd be cool. Unless you're Milkshake Factory, then stay away.
There goes
we don't want you.
There goes our only sponsor opportunity with Milkshake.
They were like, we were just about to email you guys, and we saw your video, and I guess we can't give you like $1 million, so we'll move on to the next podcast, I guess. I guess they are gonna have to like cookies and cream and brownies. It turns out that all their milkshakes are the exact same, which is different names. What's in the chocolate one? Chocolate shake, brownies.
Crushed Oreos.
There was no, I don't think it's Oreos. I think it's cookies and cream in that one. And yeah, topped with whipped cream. Is that something? No. What about the brownie shake? What's in that? You got your brownies, of course, like this is the name, and some crushed Oreos. Some Oreos a little bit different. Chocolate shake, topped off with whipped cream. Okay, cool. I see the Oreo one. What's in that? Well, there's Oreos.
Can't
There's
breathe.
Oreos. There's chocolate. And do you like brownies? Because it's in that too. Oh, whipped cream. Top of whipped cream. Of course, I forgot about that one. What's in your vanilla shake? Oh, we don't sell those. Okay.
the entire store, they're 5 ingredients.
They just can't figure out how to make shakes without combining them. Can I have the Oreo shake without the brownies? You have to have the brownies. You have to. I'll lose my job if you don't get the brownies.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, Josh, we have serious business to talk about. Hey, focus up.
I can't.
Focus up, Josh. Pittsburgh
my
Penguins
word.
have gotten somewhat decent. Anyway, Evgeny Malkin has been doing really well. He's the highest. He's basically the best player in the NHL right now. Even though some people
for the last 19 years
have been carrying the Pittsburgh Penguins team, Josh. Oh, and I guess Sidney Crosby's there too. But apparently people have been attacking me on Twitter, attacking my character, attacking the very essence of who I am. Because I said Malkin, hold on, maybe a little too overhyped right now. I know. Listen, before you get your pitchforks and your fires and all of that, okay? He's
Torches?
a generational talent. Thank you. I'm blinking on what that was. Your fires. However you carry your fires, whether by torch or campfire, don't bring it over here. Anyway, he is a generational talent. He will be a Hall of Famer, no doubt. He will be forever remembered as the 4th greatest Pittsburgh Penguin player of all time. But let's just calm it down, okay? It's 4 games. He's playing phenomenal. That's great. But let's just calm it down, okay? He's no Jake Shake, am I right? He's no Jake Shake to Russ Shakes. You know what I'm saying? Did you see that, Josh? Yeah, I brought that joke full circle.
Yeah, you
And
didn't
now
have to explain it.
I'm kicking a dead horse, so we're gonna move on.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Penguins, Josh. How you feeling after 4 games, Josh?
I feel a little bit better after the 4th game than I did earlier, but
Right.
the Montreal game was so good. Just felt like it was just an actual complete game. So hoping that they're able to carry that into Wednesday and Friday.
Yeah.
So
Who we playing Wednesday?
Buffalo.
Bills, Josh? We playing the Bills? I'm kidding.
playing-
That's football, silly. The Sabres, the same team, I think, basically.
Same owner.
Same owner. He was like, what's a good... we're in Buffalo, so that's going to be our logo for everything.
Jessica Pegula's parents.
Really? The tennis player?
Don't tell me you didn't know.
Dude, talk about privilege, dude. Well, hold on.
No, they work
Man.
for their money.
Well, yeah, you got to work to be a good tennis player, so good for her, I guess.
Well, calling her out?
Yeah, is she number 1 in the world? Didn't think so.
No, but I think she's top 5.
Josh, did we just become the Penguins tennis collective real quick? Because
I mean,
let
we
me look it up.
always do drop some sort of tennis in there.
Dude, I would love to do a tennis podcast.
Is it
by the way.
Johnny Thunder? Johnny Thunder who keeps it real with the tennis as well?
Shout out.
in the
Yeah.
in the comment section.
Even though he has wild tennis takes, but yeah. Actually, I don't even know if he dropped the tennis take, but just calling you out, Johnny Thunder.
He's got a lot of tennis knowledge. I remember that. Yeah, find out.
Gula?
Yeah, Jessica Pegula,
Thanks, Josh.
USA.
Oh, wow. Oh, look at that. She's number 4 in the world. Really? That high? Dude. Could have fooled me. No way we have that many Americans in the top 10. Get out of here.
Yeah. So who is it?
4 Americans in the top 10 for women.
Coco Gauff.
Yeah, my girl Coco Gauff, Jessica
Pegula.
Emma Navarro,
Oh snap! She's top 10 now.
and Danielle Collins.
Isn't she gonna
That's what I'm
retire though? So like
I
that
don't know.
technically
She's
doesn't
number,
count.
They're saying she's number 9 in the world, which I
Yeah.
could have swore she was not.
Yeah. So like, I think she's retiring, and she's like trying to play every tournament because like she's
Smart.
retiring.
It's her last year. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Mm.
obviously that helps with your rankings. The more you play, the further you get. Like, you know what I mean? So like,
For sure.
I think that's why she's climbing so fast. But yeah, she's pretty good.
Interesting.
She's feisty. Have you seen Danielle Collins play? She gets.
Oh,
She
didn't she get in an
gets-
argument with Swigatek? Yeah, she
Mhm.
was like, calm yourself, okay?
Yeah. She's like, stop
was
holding
like-
up your racket.
Well, to be fair, really quick on that,
Yeah.
Swigatek deserved that. Every point, it's at the server's pace, dude. You can't say, excuse me. I would just serve it right there and then. I'd be like, get out of here. Anyway, Danielle Collins, you were right in that situation, and I want to totally affirm your decision to absolutely yell at Swigatek. She deserves it. Anyway, Josh, we're a hockey podcast, not a tennis podcast. Maybe the tennis podcast will drop. Probably not.
R.I.P. Nadal. Yep.
He didn't die, Josh. He retired. Okay, he's not dead,
That's
but
close
the game of tennis now is dead because Nadal is leaving. Anyway, more information than you care for. The Pittsburgh Penguins. That's what we're here for. Last 4 games to start the season, really good. Roller coaster. Started off not good. Hey,
Up.
we got to win. And we lost again. But we
Up.
got to win. So,
Where are we going from here?
up,
We're stuck at the top right now.
going up. That song.
Nice. Forest rank. Very nice.
Forrest Frank, Connor Price.
Sounds right.
Sounds right. He's dropping a new song with Maverick City Music. So
Which one? Forrest Frank or Connor Price?
Connor Price.
Oh, I think Forrest Frank did one too.
He did with the guy, not the whole entire Maverick City.
Yeah.
I
know who
forget
you're
his
talking
name. Chandler Moore. Oh, knowledge in
Very nice.
the noggin. Anyway, Penguins. Josh, we keep on trying to talk about the Penguins, and then
Yes.
another topic comes in. Our ADD is off the charts today, but we have a great episode for you with an interview with Coach Donnie, Uncle Donnie. That's coming up later, so stay tuned. But 4 games, doing good, roller coaster. The Penguins are on a high right now as they just beat the
Montreal Canadiens.
yeah, they did that. They beat the Montreal Canadiens 6-3. Jari did not start the game off good, but he ended the game off well. Malkin hit what is it called, Josh? A milestone? What was it? 900 assists?
No. He's at 499 goals.
But didn't he hit assists? Didn't he hit 900 assists in that game?
I thought it was 800 assists, and he got
Whatever.
that. Didn't he
Did
get
he
that
get in that
the other?
Montreal?
He got that the other night. Remember, because
Oh.
he got 1,300. He got 1,300 points.
Doesn't matter. He still got it within those 4 games. So I'm right, you're wrong. So Gino's been playing good. He hit some milestones in the first games. He's the best player in the NHL right now. And then also there's been some notables. Puljujärvi has been playing really well, right, Josh? You love Puljujärvi?
Like Puljujärvi.
Puljujärvi's been playing really well.
Eller.
Eller has been that third line, great.
So is
Drew
Billy A.
O'Connor, wherever
Yeah.
you place him, he could be good. Surprised by Kevin Hayes coming in. I thought he was going to be more of a Big Jeff Carter situation where he's just there, but he actually has been producing. So that's
Yeah,
pretty
he's
cool.
got 2 goals.
2 goals, more than Sidney Crosby right now. And uh, same amount of points. I actually said has 3 points. Kevin Hayes has 2 points.
Well, he may have an assist.
Who knows? I don't know. But
They'll fact check us.
yeah,
They've been
they'll yell at
really
us.
good at that lately.
Which is good. It's kind of it's nice to know that people are like, "Oh, you idiots said something wrong." I'm like, all right. At least you're watching. At least I could say, well, thanks for watching, but stop yelling at me, sir. But it's been good for the first 4 games. This team has a different feel, and that is because of the youth and the new faces that Kyle Dubas has brought in. Mike Sullivan has been playing with a different kind of line combinations with the first line and the third line. Second line has kind of been normal with Malkin, Bunting, and Raquel. And the first line has been changing due to Rust's injury. They had Beauvillier, Crosby, and Drew O'Connor. So they have been switching that up. They've been putting Drew O'Connor in the second line, in the third line, in the first line in the last 4 games. And there was one player, Rutger McGroarty, who made the third line out of camp, and he played 3 games. The 4th game, he got benched. Now, who knows what's going to happen for that Buffalo game? Whether the roster will stay the same or it will change. But the team looks different. Josh.
Yeah, no, I mean, you nailed it. Like you said, everyone is playing with a little bit more pace, it feels like, than they were last year at this time. So it seemed like the beginning of the year last year, just, I don't know if they were going through the motions or whatever, but just seems like there's a little more urgency at least from the top guys. Letang, he's on the board. Carlson's on the board. Everyone is just kind of cooking right now. So hopefully everything keeps going and then ride this wagon, keep it going.
Yeah, it's interesting. The first week definitely has been interesting. So, but obviously the notable, Rutger McGroarty has been making some progress. He hasn't scored. He hasn't gotten any points. But he is one of our prospects that made the roster. There's a few other notables, and I keep on saying that word, and I want to stop. Like Ponomarev, who's hurt, so we can't start him. And then there was Owen Pickering and others like Koppinen. I haven't heard his name.
K-O, so I'm going to go
Koppinen. And also Blomqvist. Blomqvist, excuse me. So Blomqvist...
Sure. Yeah.
He's technically a prospect. He's been playing in Wilkes-Barre, but Nedeljkovic got hurt. So he actually had a few looks so far, and he looks pretty good. So our prospect pool has been proven that we have some young guys, Josh.
And the guy from preseason who won our hearts, Harrison
Brunick.
I
think is how you pronounce it. I could be wrong. But yeah, a lot of prospects and something that we really value having Coach Donnie kind of partner up with TPC is that he's very knowledgeable about prospects, coaching, GM, because he's had all those roles in his career. So this interview that we're about to play, Josh, he talks about Rutger, Owen Pickering, and I believe Ponomarev. So all these prospects that we have sitting in the wings and guys who are on the roster now, he has some kind of valuable, insight for these guys. So, Josh, should we play the interview right now?
Yes.
Wow, thanks for the audible confirmation. I appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's enjoy this interview with Coach Donnie Harkins. We got a special guest for you guys today. We keep it in the family. Uncle Donnie, Coach Donnie Harkins is back with TPC for this season. Every week, we're going to have an episode. Coach Donnie's going to come on, share his wisdom, break down some prospects, maybe break down some plays, yell at Malkin maybe a little bit, just like I did in the last couple episodes. Who knows? Who knows? The world is open for this podcast. We can't wait. Thank you so much, Donnie, for joining us. What have you been up to this offseason?
Yeah, thanks, guys. Well, lately I've been avoiding hurricanes from my hometown in Florida, so that's been the last little month. But other than that, just kind of enjoying the summer. Spent some time up in northern Michigan at my old college teammates' cottage, and just enjoying my family and friends. And my youngest went off to college this fall to Fordham University in the Bronx, so that was kind of a
Nice.
traumatic experience. And just had parents' weekend there last weekend. Had a great time. So yeah, now here we are back in hockey season.
Yeah.
All right.
Came up
Are you
quick.
looking? It came up really quick. Me and Josh kind of felt that coming into the season. Everything just happened so fast. Is there a team that you're looking? Obviously, besides the Penguins. Okay, let's just say besides the Pittsburgh Penguins, is there a team that you think can make it? Do you have an eye on anyone this season?
I just like Dallas, maybe to take that next step. I just think they have so much depth, and they have a good coach in Pete DeBoer, and they got Hintz and Robertson and some of those higher end players. Everyone always talks about Toronto. Can they all put it together? I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see the first third of the season how it all shakes out, and it'll start forming where everyone's going to be kind of slotting in, I think. So
Yeah. All right, sounds good. Yeah, I just wanted to know. I don't think Florida will go back to back. Maybe, who knows? Anything can happen in hockey. Anaheim making it with Harkins, huh?
I think they're too young still. That's just my take on it. And with Gibson, Pittsburgh native Gibson being hurt out of the hop at starting the
That's
season
right.
without your number one goalie, it's hard enough to start win games in this league with your number one goalie, let alone not having your number one goalie. So it'll be a little tough for those guys still.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I appreciate it. Well, one thing that we wanted to talk to you about today on this episode, early in the season, it's hard to do any type of breakdown. I think we're only 4 games in. So one thing that Dubas wanted to do when he came in was to get younger. And he did get some prospects and some draft picks, trading away Gensel last year, brought in some young guys in the offseason. So just wanted to get your, you've been a scout, you scouted, some young guys for NHL teams. You've also done even the youth. That's kind of your bread and butter for young hockey players aspiring to get to the NHL level. So just wanted to pick your brain and get your expertise on some of the prospects in the Penguins prospect pool. First one, just wanted to get your thought process. A first round pick of few years ago now. Actually, it just feels like just last year, but a few years ago now, in the defenseman Owen Pickering. A lot of hope and a lot of promise coming into this year, hoping that he makes the next step while he's down in Wilkes-Barre. But just wanted to see what your expertise is on him.
Yeah, I mean, I think, with losing P.O. Joseph and some of the other, you're seeing some younger defensemen get an opportunity in Pittsburgh this year. So I think, with Carlson and with Letang, getting older, and Marcus Patterson, there's some opportunities for some of these young guys to step in. And we're seeing it early on. I think we mentioned off air, like Lane Hudson, how he's having a major impact on his team already, just, a few games into the season. He's such an exceptional skater. The NHL is a very fast, fluid skating league, so you got to be able to skate because you're going to make mistakes. And how do you, track guys down and recover from those mistakes? So you got to be an elite skater. So I think there's some huge opportunities for some of those young D and Wilkes-Barre to get an opportunity, maybe a call up during the season, and get a chance to show Sully and the coaching staff what they can do.
Yeah, and what as a coach defensively, what are you looking at for today's game? Obviously, every what do we say? Like 10 years, the game kind of evolves. What are you looking at now compared to what you were looking at, say, 10 years ago in young guys defensively?
Well, like you got to be able to skate, like I said, in your own zone. Like you can't play Tampa man on man down low; they'll eat you alive with picks and stuff like that because they're so good down low team. Most coaches in today's day and age want you to, if your pucks are being dumped in, all the teams are trying to play below your goal line, behind your D, so you want to retrieve pucks quickly, exit the zone quickly with a seamless, good first pass, and then get going to the other way, transitioning out. So that's the three major things. Retrieve pucks quickly, exit zones quickly, and then be able to defend off the rush. Then you got to be able to defend in zone. And you got to be. Is it like overly physical today? Not so much. You just got to stay between your man and the net. You got to have heads on swivels, picking up guys. People are so skilled now to go low to high, off the cycle. You really got to be aware in your own zone to be able to pick up guys and pick up sticks. I've watched a few games so far. Guys are right next to people. They're in good position, but they're not taking away the guy's stick, and the guy's being able to bang some rebounds in. So, it's those basic fundamentals we teach as coaches when the kids are little. It's amazing how they carry over to professional players, and they kind of sometimes make the same mistakes. But I can trust you that if they played for me, we were preaching that stuff since they were 9, 10 years old. How to play in the D zone, that's for sure.
Yeah, some guys do it and they change, and some guys end up making 4.5 million and still making those mistakes where they should be taught on how to be a good defenseman. I won't be naming any names, okay? But just figure it out. Anyway, Josh.
Yeah, no, I was going to kind of segue there, but we're just gonna hop over that. We're just you touched on it beautifully. Next guy. Like I mentioned, one of the prospects that came in from the trade with Jake Gensel to Carolina. And I get butchered in the comment section because I don't know how to do names. It's just the nature of the beast. Go ahead, Lewis.
Ponomarev.
Yes. What I think he's a little nicked up right now. But I know you saw him in person last year.
I saw him in Florida. When he played for Carolina in that rookie camp down in Fort Myers at Hertz Arena. When he was playing for Carolina, he had a pretty good rookie camp. I thought he played pretty well in those games. He had good speed, creative, offensively, gifted. But I always think that smaller guys have to be really, really dynamic. Like I mentioned off here too. Like we talk the Cole Caulfields, Marty St. Louis. Like if you're a smaller player, you really have to be dynamic, or you have to really be sound on the defensive side of the puck, so your coach trusts you. We've always talked about that with Sully and having trust in players that he puts on the ice. You definitely have to have the coach's trust. So I think that's something the young prospects. When you come up, you're an offensive guy. You have to kind of figure out what your role is now on the team, how you can contribute and help the team win. Because at the end of the day, that's really what every guy's trying to do, is help their team win. So. I think he's got an opportunity, but he's going to have to obviously get healthy and then get down there and string a bunch of games together in Wilkes-Barre, and then hopefully, if there's some injuries up front at the big club, he gets an opportunity.
Now, as a coach, would you say, like, obviously Ponomarev was hurt before the chance to even crack the roster for Pittsburgh this current season? Is it smart and probably the safest bet to send him down to Wilkes-Barre, get him healthy, first of all, obviously, but then give him all the experience all year long? Or do you wait until he's healthy to say, okay, he's good, let's try to figure out how to get him in our system and get him going?
Well, I think as he's nursing himself back to health, you kind of got to see what your current roster looks like in terms of health. You know what I mean? So, you could have injuries right away, and then he comes off the injury, and then you might get an opportunity right away at the big club. But dude was traded for him for a reason. Obviously, when GMs trade for guys, they tend to like them, so they want the coaches to, maybe give those guys a shot to make the GM, look good type thing. So, but I'm sure Sully and Dubas are on the same page in terms of development of players and who can help their roster, every day in, day out. So I'm sure they'll figure that stuff out as we go along for the season.
And you mentioned it. Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I mean,
we're on the same page with the segue.
Talk about guys that Dubas liked this past offseason, just I think about a month ago now. He had his eye on Rucker McGroarty. He went out, he traded away his first draft pick as the Penguins GM in order to get Rucker away from the Winnipeg. What do you see from him? He was able to make the roster. He's only played in a couple games to start the regular season, but I know there's some concerns that you have. Dive into him a little bit.
Yeah, so Rutgers' game plays inside the dots, right? So he's like going always around the net, near the net. So as long as he gets to those spots, his skating, everyone needs to improve your skating, but his skating won't be as big a factor. He's a hockey player. There are guys who play hockey, and there are guys who are hockey players. Rucker McGorty's a hockey player. Okay, the draft pick or the Jaeger trading him away is more of an outside perimeter skill guy. So they're two different types of player, and I think that's what Pittsburgh kind of needs. I think Kyle obviously saw that and said, hey, here's an inside the dot kind of player, gritty character guy. Rutgers, one of those guys, has always found a way. I've known him since he was a little kid in Detroit. His dad and I were colleagues in the USHL. His dad was a general manager in Lincoln when I was a general manager with the Blue Jackets in the USHL. So I've known Rucker and his family for years. Coming up through Detroit, he was always a top guy on the best team in coming up, and he always found a way. Like guys like Rucker McGorty, guys just find a way, right? He found a way to make the roster, the opening roster, when everyone probably said he couldn't. And if you saw that thing like on social media with him and Sully, they had a little chat. Sully just said, "You just kept getting better every day. You got better every day," and that's what we want to do, right? As people, we want to become better every day. So Rucker proved that to the coaching staff and the management. Got his opportunity. I know he didn't play last night because some bodies are getting healthy and stuff. So he just got to be patient. No, as long as they can get him in and out of the lineup, and he's getting some games and touches, and we'll see where this thing goes. Who knows? Maybe at some point in the season they think going down and playing a heavy minute load every night could be better for his development and how the Pittsburgh Penguins season goes, from a wins and loss, and if they're in the playoff race. And there's so many determining factors where we can't look into that crystal ball after 4 games in and see where it's going to go. But we're going to be out here every week talking about it. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that was one thing that I wanted to ask you in terms of like his development. He is still so young. Like, was it the move to allow him to crack the roster and play sparingly, or should he have just been sent down and been the guy in Wilkes-Barre and, like you said, get those heavy minutes to help his development?
Well, I think sometimes, guys, you just got to take your hat off and reward people. You know what I mean? If they prove that they can, earn something, then give it to them. So many times in pro sports, guys earn it, and then they just are going down for whatever reason. That's what the plan they have for them, and everything's set in stone. If that's the case, then why bother even having training camp, or why bother having exhibition games? You know what I mean?
True.
So.
Yeah.
So you want to give guys opportunities. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, something for them to achieve. These guys are all high-level athletes, guys. They didn't get to where they are today because they didn't achieve goals that they set for themselves. So because they know when they're playing well, they know when they're not playing well. And maybe and Rucker brings that youthful energy in the locker room. That's good when you have an older group of guys. That youthfulness helps the camaraderie and helps the culture and the demeanor. Not that he's a leader, but he is at his young age. But generally, he is a leader. He's always been a captain or a leader on the teams he's been on, from youth to Michigan to wherever. But he definitely has that infectious smile. Like, I'm a big Rucker McGorty fan. I love Rucker. I love his family. They're awesome people. So you always root for those people to have success.
Now, you mentioned it before, and you've been a GM and you've been a coach, so you understand both sides there. As a GM, you go out and trade for this guy, so it's a 1-for-1 prospect. You expect him to start. Is there any pressure coming from the office to make sure Rucker plays more than not? Is there a pressure there?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think Kyle and Sully are on the same page with all that stuff. Whether it's the development, whether it's certain guys in the lineup that Sully trusts or things like that. I mean, they talk about it, they communicate, all the time, management and coaches, and I think those guys have a real good relationship, do a real good job. But I don't think there's any pressure. There's no pressure on Rucker making the team or not making the team. Like, just go out and play. Like, if I'm a coach, and the message I send to my players is, hey, what got you here is because you just went out and played and had fun. Like, anytime my team started to struggle, I always talk to them about, guys, why did you get up at 6 a.m. when you were 7 years old to go to the rink? Because this game was fun. So just go out and play and have fun. And I think that's kind of Rucker McGorty's demeanor. So he just go out and plays and has fun. And if he's having fun, then that's maybe maybe infectious to the other guys on his line or the team and the locker room on the bench.
Yeah.
They're having fun because when guys, all these teams in the NHL are talented. I always felt that it's the team that can play at the highest mental capacity level, like play free. You know what I mean? Still be responsible. You know your assignments and stuff, but just play free. Not afraid to make mistakes because you're going to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. How do you recover from them? How do you, if you make one mistake, do 5 things good? That's a pretty good ratio, right? That type of thing. So I just think no pressure. I think the management and coaching staff in Pittsburgh is on the same page. I witnessed it firsthand last year with my nephew playing. Had a great experience. Loved Pittsburgh. Loved Sully. Loved the whole thing last year that he experienced.
Love the podcast that he was on.
Love the
Just wanted to throw
podcast.
that out, yeah.
I'm sure he wishes he would have scored some goals, a few more goals, except that one big shootout goal that almost got him into the playoffs, anyways,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
so I think the culture's there, guys, and I think that whether you're a prospect, trade 1 for 1. Obviously, you see that it's like, 1 for 1. That has to be a big deal. Like Ponomarev and those guys are just other throw-ins on the Gensel trade. Bunting was the big piece, but all these other guys are just throw-ins. When it's 1 for 1, that gets everybody's attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but that's all. That's all I got.
Yeah, well, you said that Rucker McGroarty is a hockey player. And then you said there are some guys who play hockey and some that are hockey players. Can you quickly just expound on that? Like, what does that mean to you from a coaching perspective? And how should fans who are dumb as rocks like me understand that better?
You win with hockey players. It's tough to win with guys who play hockey. Okay. He's like the salt of the earth, like just eats, breathes, and sleeps hockey. He loves coming to the rink every day, like passion. He's relentless. Like there's, adjectives as coaches, we all describe players that we wish every player, played that way, right? But maybe a more skilled guy doesn't play as excited as a Rucker McGroarty does, but he has the innate ability to just go out there and put up, big numbers just because he's so highly skilled with an absolute high level of intellect, hockey IQ. So that's the difference. I want to go to war with hockey players. That's what I can tell you. Okay. And it's the attitude you bring to all the fights and the battles on the ice that determines the outcomes of those wars. And I want to go to war with hockey players, not just guys who play hockey.
Awesome.
I like that. I like that.
That's
Now,
a good answer.
I like to think that the Penguins have a ton of hockey players, not just guys who play hockey. I've been on the podcast so far this season saying that I'm putting money on the Penguins winning the Stanley Cup this year.
Wow.
And I actually did.
Well,
I have the receipt to prove it. It's not a lot of money, just a few bucks, but still, it's money. First official bet of all time. However, I wanted to see, this is the first time we talked to you about the Penguins for the season. What are your expectations for the team for 2024-25?
Realistic expectations going into the season.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's like in the NBA when your big 3 are going, your team's going, right? It's the Penguins when Sid's going and Malkin's going, Gino's going, and Carlson and Letang are going, and your goaltending, whether it's Jars or Ned, it give you a chance every night, right? Your best players always have to be your best players to give yourself a chance. I've always said that as a coach forever. Your best players have to be your best players. So there were nights last year where some guys weren't at their best. Obviously, Pittsburgh's power play last year prevented them from making the playoffs. And there was nothing else other than that. That's what prevented them from making the playoffs. So if they can be better on that, more efficient on that, it wasn't a lack of scoring on the bottom 6 or some of the top 6 didn't have great stretches during the season. That's not why they didn't make the playoffs. It strictly was from the power play. Special teams, power plays, and killing penalties and goaltending are the 3 major factors of why teams make the playoffs or don't make the playoffs. Okay, so if they can just get that corrected a little bit, obviously, and get some consistent, solid goaltending. I know there were stretches last year where Jars was good. There were stretches when Ned was ridiculously good. If they can just get some consistency there, right? Consistency, like coaches always love to use the word consistency. It's kind of like we just want to know what we're going to get every night type thing out of our guys and our goaltending. If they can be more consistent and just execute, because it's not like there's a lack of talent on the power play, guys. Come on, they can chop that puck up and sauce it around with the best of them with that skill level they have on that power play.
Famers.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I think that's kind of where I'm at with it. So I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic that they'll make the playoffs. And you just got to get hot at the right time. Like the best teams don't necessarily win the Stanley Cup. It's the team that's the best the last month and a half of the season that does. Like Florida last year, just kind of roll. They were just unbelievable. Even when Edmonton won those couple games and Edmonton pushed the series, I knew Florida was going to win. Paul Maurice had those guys going. Their fourth line was tremendous.
Oh, yeah.
If you
It
look
was
at
over before it started.
if you look at the fourth lines the year before, Eichel had a great playoff, but Colasar, Waugh, that fourth line for Vegas was unreal, just like Florida's was last year. Their depth,
Yeah.
They just kept putting pressure on guys and scoring timely goals, and their big guns were their best players, right? And Bob was unbelievable in net. So there a lot of things have to go right to win any type of championship. In professional sports, it has to go right when you win them in youth sports. So,
yeah, and
So-
that's what I was saying too. Is that like it's not so much that I think they're going to win the President's Trophy, be the number one seed, sweep all the way through. It's just that we saw it last year. They got hot late and it just wasn't clicking, in the last few games. I think this year it just turns. We get hot again at the end of the year, and like you said, we kind of just stay hot through the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's where my thought process
If
is.
you
So you
remember-
heard it here first. Donnie saying the Pittsburgh Penguins are winning the Stanley Cup. Hold that receipt. Clip this video.
I
Get
didn't
the
say that.
parade going. Yeah, I heard. That's what I
I said
heard.
they'll be back to. If you remember last year, they started off that West Coast road trip really good, beat Vancouver. I think it was overtime or whatever, and then they just didn't play well at all in Calgary, Seattle.
That was the dad's trip.
Edmonton. That was the dad's trip. The dad's
That
trip
was the dad's trip?
Montreal. They played well in the dad's trip. They were unbelievable.
okay,
Then they
my
went
bad.
out west towards the end of the year. Then they kind of got it back going again. But that stretch of like 4 or 5 games that they just lost and got pummeled in a couple of them, like the scores were.
Okay.
I mean, if it was youth hockey, it would have been running clock.
Yeah.
So, but that's kind of they got to avoid those types of stretches this year for sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's hope that this season Penguins could get it back under control. Maybe be a little more consistent, throughout the season rather than absolutely suck throughout the whole entire season. But that's okay. It's a long season. We're only 4 games in. Out of the 4 games, Penguins good? Yes? No? We're 2-2. How are you feeling?
Well, 2-2 to me is average, right? You win 2, you lose 2, so you're average. So it's like a C in school.
Yeah.
So, that's kind
So
of where
we
we're at.
suck. We suck. That's what you're saying.
Like Jim Morris said, we are who they thought we were. Okay, where Dennis Green said that. When you're 2-2, that's kind of where you're at right now. So that's okay.
So we
okay.
suck.
No team.
If it looks like a duck, sounds like a duck, walks like a duck, it's a duck. We suck.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Got it.
All right.
I'm on 2 extremes right now. We're winning the cup. We suck. Anyway, it's all good. It's a long season. Can't wait to see how the Penguins, unfold. And Donnie's going to be here with us every single week, kind of staying with it. So he's going to be understanding where the Penguins are at. We're going to get some deep dives from Donnie throughout Coach Donnie. Excuse me. Got to put the respect on that name. And throughout the season. So he's going to be joining us. So stay tuned every single week. Donnie, what's going on with you? What do you got cooking up this season?
Well, nothing. I was in Detroit at the meeting, which is starting a couple of hockey academies in Chicago and Detroit, Michigan. And I was texting Keener last night, and he's like, Coach,
Patrick
we got to do dinner tomorrow night. I haven't scored yet, and you're my lucky charm, so we got to go to dinner so I can see you, so I can score. So then I had to, unfortunately, come back. We have a sick dog. One of our chocolate labs is sick, so I had to come back home. So I had to blow Keener off for dinner tomorrow night up in Detroit. But just been started a new business called Player Rankings, where we're ranking from the Brick Tournament, which is the most prestigious youth tournament out there for 10-year-olds, up to 14, kind of like that wheelhouse. Like everyone starts getting scouted on list 14 and up. We're doing more of the youth to kind of help grow the game, see the trends, see the player development, where the best 10-year-olds, not the best 12, is not the best 14. Why is that? Is there something we could have done development-wise to ensure his development stayed on track? So through sports logic and analytics and things like that, we're ranking some players. We're headed to Toronto next weekend to the Junior Canadians Cup, the 2013 birth years. We'll have a nice top 32, which emulates the NHL first round rankings coming that event with the players to watch list. So it's just kind of like these mini report cards of these kids when they're playing these tournaments. And, and hopefully this helps their development and it gets kids on radars. And, I've had a lot of NCAA coaches call me already on these kids that are 11 years old saying, Harks, what about this guy? What about that guy? So
No way.
they're paying attention to that stuff. And guys, I'll tell you a story. I had a guy from NHL Central Scouting last year got brought up when the kid was at the Quebec Pee Wee tournament as a 12-year-old. What was the incident that happened at his billet family's house from a character standpoint, deep dive. So, people are watching. So if we can provide more data on these kids at an early age, it helps the kids, the teams make more formidable decisions, whether it be in the CHL, and then you guys see all the stuff going on with the NCAA and the CHL now where players might be able to play both. That's going to change the landscape immensely. Yeah. So we're going to have lots to talk about from the youth hockey and amateur hockey standpoint this year on the pod for sure. So
yeah. So
awesome.
if feel free, where can they find all that information that you guys are going to be pumping out?
At Player, and it's spelled PLAYR, no E, Rankings, RANKINGS, on Instagram. Playerrankings.com. We're just building the website out now, but we're doing a lot of stuff right now on social because that's where all the kids kind of live on social. Like Kason Pusateri and Cameron Kuhn right now. Kason Pusateri is a 2014 birth year, and Cameron Kuhn's a 2013 birth year. Both play for Little Caesars. They're like the top kids in their respective age groups in the U.S. right now. So we'll see when we go over to Toronto next weekend, and some of those good Canadian teams are involved, and we'll see how North American ranks those players. So it'll be interesting to see. So
awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, can't wait. It sounds awesome what you got cooking over there. We're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff like that, prospects throughout the season. So I can't wait to see how that all unfolds. Sounds like an awesome idea. Guys, you can find Player Rankings, no E, Player Rankings on Instagram, TikTok. I doubt you're on Facebook, but it's on Facebook there as well. A lot of cool videos I've seen on Instagram of these kids, 12 years old. Doing like Michigans. It's sick. It's sick. They're doing some cool things where I can't even do it. So it's wild. So these kids are super talented. It's awesome to see that they're getting like a platform and you're providing that. So that's pretty awesome. But Donnie, thanks so much for coming by. Hey, every week it's going to be a long season, but it's going to be a good season because as we found out, Donnie says we're going to win the Stanley Cup. So it's going to be a great ride. I can't wait. So thanks so much for coming.
Hey, my pleasure, guys. Always enjoyable to hang out with you guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. What an interview. Okay. What an interview. I'm a better person after the fact than I was before. The knowledge that entered this noggin, it can't be studied. It can't. Thank you so much, Coach Donnie.
Might be able to be.
They have diagnosed it as ADHD. So it actually has been studied. They found the cure for it too. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. If you could,
I was gonna say, if you made it this far,
wow.
If you made it this far,
you deserve your own milkshake.
I was gonna say, comment us a milkshake flavor that you wish the Milkshake Factory would offer.
Someone's gonna say crushed Oreos, brownies. Guys, thanks so much for watching. You can find us on all social media platforms at Pens Collective. You can find us where you find your favorite podcasts, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Also, you can find us on Amazon, Josh. Did you know that? Now you do.
And iHeartRadio.
And iHeartRadio. Josh, you could find us wherever. We're everywhere. Okay? So make sure you go find us. Make sure you say something nice. Go ahead and rate us 5 stars. It would be appreciated. Don't forget to comment on this video because it helps the algorithm. The magical algorithm that gets this podcast out there. Please comment. Please subscribe. Please hit that like button. We'll see you guys every game live. After the final horn, we go live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Josh, you can also find us every week on YouTube. We're putting up a new episode. It's awesome. We're all over the place. Josh, we'll see you in the next episode. As always,
Let's go, Pens.
It's Crosby. Crosby on Trinidad shot. Penguins win it!
Buckle up, baby. Are you kidding me?
We're a collective.